This is explained in pretty good detail in your handbook, your LB handbook. Um, I'm hoping that by the time you're out of this class, you finished your fifth essay, you're fairly expert at MLA style. I allow you to focus on these other two styles if your major, if all your writing in that majors will be from that APA and Chicago style. Um, I certainly won't count any points off for it, um, but I would like to encourage you to focus on MLA style because most of your essays will be written in classes that prefer MLA style. I don't think you have each of these buttons up here, but you've got a submit button either down here or up here. I believe it's right up here. Um, and yours looks different. It won't have a class list here, but you would click here to choose your file. You've created your word processing file, you've written your essay, you've saved that file to your desktop or flash drive, and you'll just pick it off your list and add it. It will attach the file and you hit submit. I'll hit cancel here. The file name will probably show up here in just a minute or two. Um, it will have evaluated your essay for originality and also for grammar and style usage. You'll be able to click on that link and see the feedback from Turnitin. Um, that's not your grade, and I'll be evaluating it independently. It's just something to give you some quick, immediate feedback on. I'll be focusing primarily on content, but those other stylistic issues as well. And in the mix of all of that, assign a grade. It takes me a little while to grade them. I'm hoping I can get them graded within 7 days of the due date, after the due date. Sometimes I run a little late, but that's my goal right there. Uh, I will have posted your when I post your grade, my comments will also be available. You can look at them in your My Grades area right over here. I think it creates a hyperlink to it. Or you can return to this page. So when you see a grade show up over here, uh, log on and look at my comments as well. And give you some tips on how to improve your writing. Um, okay, up here when you're navigating, this is called breadcrumbs. I can expand it a little bit there. I'll go back to Unit 1. It's running a little slow. There we go. And at the bottom, after you've written your essay, I want you to complete a meta writing assignment. Essentially, I want you to answer these 4 questions about your own writing. What were the strengths? What were your weaknesses? What do you feel like you need to work on in the future? Those kind of things. Real easy to complete, but I want you to kind of take it seriously and think carefully about your own writing. That's the point of it. I would call this a lab. It's not a lab where you have to go do something. It's an online lab, I suppose. I'll provide you can just go to this Evernote site, but I'll provide more information on how to complete it. Another video that'll walk you step by step through completing it. Here are the steps of completing it, but I'll give you a video one so it'll be a little easier to visualize. Essentially, we're using technology, keep track of notes, and I think this is a platform that will serve you well in a lot of your other classes. A lot of the students that have used this in the past really like it for taking their notes in history and psychology and all that other kind of stuff. For now, I just want you to become somewhat familiar with the platform. It's free. And use it to complete this short little assignment. It'll give you the option of sharing your information, your notes, with other people. And by doing that, it creates a URL address for you, a unique one that goes straight to that note. You'll give me that URL address by pasting it into our, this assignment Dropbox here, and I'll grade that. You'll notice that each unit is worth 20 points. Our group discussions a couple of points. Your private journal responses are 6 points. The essay itself is 10 points. And this meta writing Evernote activity at the end is worth 2 points for a total of 20 points. 20 times 5 is 100, and your grade's based on that. Now by points, I mean you can earn up to the maximum of 6 points and so on. It's not an all or nothing kind of thing. You need to be good responses. Let's see. We went over those. Let me click on contact information. If you need to get a hold of me, I've got some information on how to do that, some information about me. This is a picture of me this morning. You can tell I'm almost awake. Look that over if you need to. Course messages, let me click on that real quick. You're probably familiar with this. It's got an inbox and an outbox. If you want to create a message, keep in mind this is not a real email account, it's a database. So you're just kind of sending me notes. So when you click to, you're not typing in a real email address. You're picking names off a list. And mine's towards the bottom here, T. Taylor. It'll say instructor. You can click that. My first name is Timothy, but most people call me Mark, my middle name. Here's my list there. You'll put, something in the subject line. Send me your message. If you're attaching a file and sending it to me, you just click on the attach file and look on your hard drive and add it. And then click submit and it'll send it to me. Another nice thing about using this instead of a normal email account is you've got a record of every message you've sent me, and that's good. Helps me keep track of things on my end as well. These are just shortcuts. Discussion board. You can see our writing topics are under each of the units. Here's where you'll introduce yourself. Oop, somebody's already introduced it. Good deal. Thank you, Terry. You can either click on theirs and respond, or you can create your own thread right here. Journal assignments. You can click on them. There's that same assignment I had earlier. I think yours looks a little bit different, but you just click create journal entry, and you might say Unit 1 or the name of the first article. It was cut as the title. You might put it there and post a response here. You can answer all three, the questions for all three of them in one long journal entry, or you can do them one at a time. They're all housed under your name, so I'll be able to track them down. Some students are, and rightfully so, spend a lot of time composing, and if you're on an internet connection that you might lose, that's kind of risky. So you might want to compose in your word processor and you can simply copy and paste into here. When you're through, you just hit post and I'll send it along. I'm going to cancel it. But you can post as many times as you want into your journal area. Same with discussions. Calendar, click on it. You can flip through the months up here. You may have a lot of content here, some from your other courses. These are ours. I believe this gives you a shortcut to, it may or may not, depending on the application. Notice this is the little survey I want you to complete. No grade, it's just one question. Here are some of your pre-writing assignments that are due in the future. What have we got else here? Your grade area. I don't think I have anything there yet. Yeah, but you'll have your grades listed under My Grades. Kind of quickly, well, here's some tips on Blackboard and help for other areas around the college. Student services, that'll give you a list of all those services that are available. I wanted to click Library real quick. We're not in 1302, your next English class, if it's in your degree plan, you'll do a research project. Here you may just do some research And in fact, by the time you get to your fifth essay, I really hope you do some research. Um, but one of the fast ways of doing that is going to our own library website. If you log into Blackboard first, you don't need a password of any kind. Um, and click over here where it says articles or journals, essentially the same thing, and then click more databases. Here's an alphabetical listing of several online databases that will help you in many of your classes, um, including this one. A few of the more popular ones or larger ones is this Academic Search Complete, and well, I don't know, perhaps I'll do a different video on this, but logging on is a quick way to find scholarly content that would be widely respected by an academic audience. When you're writing your essays, I'm just going to close this now. When you're writing your essays for this class, you'll want to think of not just me as your audience. I've read the textbook and I know what you're talking about, but I want you to imagine you're writing for an audience that's a little less familiar with the topic that you're discussing and certainly the articles that you've read. So when you integrate them into your discussion, you're providing them a little bit more information. You're explaining what that person meant when they said this. And don't just drop in a quote and call it done. But we can talk more about that later as well. That's it. Welcome to class. And please let me know if you have any questions. And I'll